It's the Real Angler Podcast with community Kevin Brannon. Brought to you by AftCo Fishing Apparel and Tackle, designed to perform. Channel Island Sport Fishing, offering deep-sea fishing on quality sport fishing charter boats, and more. Costa Sunglasses. Discover life's greatest adventures with Costa. See what's out there. Gawa. If you want innovation and quality in your fishing products, Gawa has what you need. Eagle Claw, American ingenuity and craftsmanship since 1925. And now, here's your host, Community Kevin Brannon. Community Kevin Brannon takes you on an extended tour of the new Real Guppy Dockside Learning and Multimedia Center, with special guest, Port Hueneme City Council member, Stephen Gawa.
Yeah, here we go. First time for board member Gawa.
That's Stephen Gawa. You're going to hear him jump in a lot. That's what he does. My Sunrise guy, Community Kev, Stephen Gawa. Not only does he's a board member, but he's also going to be in charge of our risk management to make sure that everybody's safe when we go out fishing or hiking or things like that. Very charismatic individual, one of my favorite people. One of our first sponsors of a Real Anglers Fishing Show in Gawa. Got the key to the city.
I'm excited.
Are you excited?
I want to go upstairs.
All right. So anyway, we're going to show you. This is our new facility right here.
New facility.
See? That's him. Right? So we're going to open the doors right here. Look, you want to know what's cool? At the old facility, we have a bathroom key because the bathroom's away. One of the coolest features that everybody asks right here is the bathroom is right outside the door.
Ooh, oh man, I'm excited. I haven't seen our new facility yet, so here we go.
See how the way he's using the word ours now? A day ago, he just kept saying yours. And as a team, you hear that, Scotty, a lot.
I got in trouble for that myself.
Right. We say the word
Scotty,
ours, and we. Scotty,
okay.
I sent Scotty a picture the other day.
Look, it's a double door.
Yeah, I sent Scotty a picture the other day. We were doing the podcast 8 years ago, man. I can't believe we started 8 years ago in Santa Paula. I got it, bro.
I want to do it.
We'll move to the side.
Totally.
Watch out. Watch out. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to put the sign right here, and we're going to call it the Nils and Sherry's Asbelung Dockside Learning Center, okay? Because they've been donors for a couple of years, kind of helping us keep the doors open in this nonprofit world, utilizing unrestricted funding. And part of nonprofit is when you get to restricted funding.
All right, look at this. There's the bathroom.
Restricted funding. Obviously it's restricted. When you have operations, sometimes they don't want to cover operations, some of the grants that we get in the funding. So Sherry has made a donation of, you leave that open, Stephen?
Leave it open?
Yeah, $50,000 for the next 2 years, $25,000 commitment. So we're going to name the facility after her and her deceased husband that have been sponsoring the program for a couple years.
That's really nice.
So here we are, 201, right on the second floor. We're the only ones that are up here. Check this out. You ready? Here we go.
Oh, we got to do the TV thing. Oh my, look at that. Dude, you got desks in here already.
So one of my photos right there, and I was just telling Scotty downstairs that, you know, where we're at in this new location, there's a lot more traffic than the Dockside Learning Center where the Fisherman's Wharf is going to be remodeled. So if you don't know, the Dockside Learning Center is being purchased by a family from Germany, Robert Dahl, third generation farmer from Germany, that has purchased a 20-year lease with the County of Ventura. And they're going to redo Fisherman's Wharf that's kind of been neglected for years. And that's why we didn't see a lot of cross traffic. So in the meantime, while they start demolition on that next month. We'll be here for about 2 years. We might stay a little longer and keep this as our multimedia studio and still have a spot over there. It's going to be more of our Marine Center, because once you go this big, we can't shove this back into 900 square feet. This is 1,300 square feet. Where we're at right now was 900, and the other facilities around 850 or 900 square feet. But it was part of our negotiation is that we go back to the Fisherman's Wharf as part of Carl's Land when they're done in about 2 years. So, you know, business is good, and we keep pushing this multimedia and education and the work that we do, not just a fishing program, mentorship, development, family engagement, STEAM, right? That we could have 2 locations here in the Channel Islands Harbor, just on different fingers that go down into the harbor itself, right? So this facility, it looks like it hasn't been used. The last date here is 2020, when minimum wage was $13, right? So we had to have a cleaning crew come in, spent 2 days to clean this place up for us. Again, there's nobody else here on the second story, so we have it all to ourselves. Let me show you something outside, Scotty, real quick. Right here, when we start to do our filming, we're going to show you the multimedia stuff. Can you say hello to the Crawdad Cafe?
Very nice.
We're going to have a grill out here so that we could do our cooking segments right here, you know, or we could roll it over here depending on where we're going to be able to get the best lighting and the best film from it. We're going to mount some GoPros so that we could get shots of the cooking segments while we have another standing camera, right? So we'll have our own little outdoor studio to do the Crawdad Cafe, the Dizzle with the Sizzle, that we could do those films right here at the location, again, increasing our multimedia side. One of the cool things, Stephen, again, at the old place, if you notice me and Scotty do this podcast from his phone, because the internet is so slow there that we can't use all the podcast equipment. Well, now we have business, because over there, again, it hasn't been really used in 20 years. They never ran internet cables over there. So here we got up-to-date, speedy internet that we could start using the podcast and also upload our YouTube videos instead of them taking them home and doing them at home where I have better internet. We could actually do more in-house work and upping our podcast studio. So you're going to come in here. We're going to paint that wall, Stephen.
Blue. Real Guppy blue.
Yep. So we got to put a primer down and paint it over the next couple of days. Today they're going to come in and put the alarm system, and then we're good to go. So we can start bringing our electronics over our television. This right here, if you go into Learning Center, where you see all the seashells, we're going to put those here, ideally, right? And then you come around this corner, we're going to have Colm Fitzpatrick, or Fitzgerald is our window guy from the Millionaires Club. He's going to come in and do these windows. You can see they haven't been touched for a while. So we're going to get those to get a clear view. This is my office.
I got a note for you.
Yep, I put that here. That's the first thing. Oh, actually, the first thing I brought was the picture that I took of the Pelican. And then the second one is this letter I got from Pedro. I'm going to put in my office. You know, I like to put memorable stuff up in a Guppy letter. So again, when I don't want to be bothered, you just be like, shh, leave me alone.
Done.
Right? But yeah, this would be my office. Then we're going to put all the pictures and all the neat stuff that we have, the history. We'll probably put Debo right here, our fish. Then right here is going to be one of the offices for the admins to do their work. Kevin and Unique doing the office work. And then right here, Scotty, is where we're asking if we think we should put this will be our sound room, so we could do voiceovers and podcast right here, right, without any noise. There's only one window here, so the view, we thought this one would be perfect for that, so the other office has a better view. And this one right here will be our sound studio. Do we want to put a podcast guest here, talk to them on each side, stuff like that, but then also a sound room, so when we're doing our voiceovers for some of the work that we're doing, we have a little studio. Now, you come in here, right? Easy, Steven. See, that's what Steven. Look, he just can't help himself.
Look, I'm doing a safety inspection, looking for any things that need to be taken care of. And first thing we look at is electrical. Everything looks great. Electrical, you got covers in place. There's landline wiring that probably could be schnizzled. I don't think behind that wall that looked like a data center, old school landline center, you know?
Yep.
I don't know what this is. We probably want to make sure it's good. You can see the painted. There might be filters in there that need to be changed. There's only one thing I found that I think we could resolve right now. And Mr. Cameraman, if you come over here, I'll show you. This. A piece of metal sticking out of the wall, and I don't know why it's there. It looks like it was some kind of conduit, but either push it in with a hammer, and then we could
so Steven's also going to be in charge of this, so if he comes back with just a list of things that we have to do, remember the word we, he's part of that we,
right.
So That's part of what we do here with the Guppies, right? If you have just an idea and you throw it on the table and expect other people to do it, we're going to knock it off the table. Part of it is you have to own it, take ownership of these things, right? Everybody could have an idea. That's great. I need a solution, and I need you to follow through and take care of it, right?
And I just learned this in my house. These are Wi-Fi from Spectrum, I imagine, right? And let's just put it here. Well, okay, probably not the best spot for it.
Okay, now that's why they left the mount right here, and they had nowhere to put it because we have no furniture right now. But he had to leave yesterday.
But what I've learned, Kevin, recently is that this needs to be centrally located.
It is centrally located.
This, where do you need your internet the most?
Right, that's right. So listen, let me ask you. The guy that works for Spectrum was here yesterday, and we asked him, where's the central location?
We put it right here?
Right there.
Okay, because recently at my home, we have it central, and we got a new smart TV, and it gets fuzzy. And so I went to Spectrum and go, hey, what's the deal? Well, you're going to have to upgrade to this expander. I'll go to that. What's that? Costs you $5 a month. That way it'll take the circle and put another circle on it. I go, can I just buy one? Oh, yeah, you can go buy one at Best Buy, but we'll rent you one for $5 a month.
Okay. I'm going to jump in. Steven, we're here to be excited about this new place.
Excited.
If you're finding all the dings and what's done, I'll ask you to go sit outside, bro. I don't, I got to spend this time looking at everything that's wrong with the building and what's wrong with it. I need you to show a little bit more enthusiasm about what we're doing, right?
I'm enthusiastic about preventing injuries. This one, I want to fix it right now. But anyway,
go get your hammer.
Otherwise, everything looks great here. Always check the ceiling tiles, look for leaks, and you can always tell if there was a leak, there would be discoloration, but this place looks great. Should have seen it last week before the cleaning crew came in. It's going to be an amazing addition to the program and what we're trying to do. So congratulations.
Cool. Let's keep that excitement energy, all right? All right, let's come back over here. All right. And being realistic, again, what Steven is saying is the place hasn't been used in 6 years, right? It's been sitting here, right? So what do you do, right, as a Guppies, right? What are the solutions, right? Bring about what all the problems are. That's not our style. So solution, right? Do we want to have them take all this carpet in front of here temporarily and put all that money into it? Or are we just going to get some carpets that we have to cover up a couple of blemishes, right? You know what I mean? We'd have to redo it all. Again, we know that it's an old building. It's temporary. It's not forever. How do you work with them so that way we could do the things that we're going to do without being a nuisance to your property manager, but at the same time we are a tenant that are paying for it, and we want to make sure that we are taken care of. But this right here is going to be our multimedia, our studio side, so we could set up a camera and film there. We could put the green screen up against the wall. We could film our coastal critters right here. On one side, we could do our tackle tips setup, talk about how you're going to, what kind of setups you might need and use, things like that. So this is going to be more of our filming section, right? So you have your audio room and the podcast, and then this again will be some of the filming. This side over here is we're going to look at putting the marine section. So our microscopes that we have right now, again, we have used every square inch of 900 square feet at the Dockside Learning Center right now. Having an extra 400 square feet here, we could do things that we've planned to do that haven't had the space yet to do it. So again, our microscopes will be set up right here. So our weekend interns and the evening folks that are working could start displaying the marine biology part that we want to start adding to the STEAM that we do. I mean, we have stuff now limited, but again, not with the size we could do it. Or we could do some coastal critters swimming right here, where we put our little artifacts. Like Steven was saying, this is old and what it is, but before we start snipping and cutting and stuff, we want somebody to come out that knows what they're doing before we start cutting wires and doing things like that. But this might be another area that we're allowed to do some filming when it comes to the coastal critters part. Then we have this outside area here where we could store some of our equipment so it doesn't get damaged from the ocean and stuff and in the rain. So we do have, how do we use a little bit more of the outside space so we could expand a little bit. So we put some of our tables there, our stackable chairs, again, and then we could bring them in here with our tables that are folded up so that way we could put those in for certain events or weekend projects that we're doing and still utilize the space to be open. One of the things I've been saying about our program, Scotty, in this facility in particular, is we're like a modern day, a Google or the newest, the ones that make the television show. I'm just drawing a blank right now. The one that did Toy Story. Pixar. I want to say Pixar, right? So this is the vibe that you're going to get here. We're going to put bean bags over here. So if you want a second to just chill and relax, you just lay out on your bean bag and hang out here. Got a pretty good view down here. We could see Mrs. Olson's restaurant there. and you have the lookout there. And what we're thinking about talking to our neighbors, let's turn this off, excuse me. The ones that we're talking to downstairs
money right there
is, there he goes again. That they'll start sending people up here. You're done having your breakfast and your pancakes, and you'll be like, hey, why don't you go upstairs and check out that learning center with your family?
It's gonna be great.
So we'll have a few more.
A lot more. We're gonna have
more
a lot
people.
more. Like that's key.
I think we got to raise a lot more money. Last night, Stephen was worried about funding the mission. And again, so you got to have staff that are going to cover that part. And as a board member, that's kind of some of your responsibility too, right? Okay, if you know we're going to have a lot more people coming, we're going to need a little bit more staff. We just took a phone call from somebody that was asking about our kid fishing. Do we teach kid fishing? Well, if we only have one staff here on a Saturday, they can't show artifacts and show you how to fish at the same time. So you have 2 or 3 people that might show up or more, and one is interested in the marine biology, one is interested in fishing, and who gets priority of it, right? So the priority must be to increase our staff as we're increasing our size. And that's kind of the business lessons that we teach as well through our program is, again, how do we come up with the solution for that, right? If it's going to be bigger, you're going to need more capacity, more bandwidth. So that's important too to keep in mind, not just how big and how great it's going to get, but who's going to fill those voids and help out to make sure they're not overworked and underpaid, and given the quality and the service. Our number one pillar for our 2 years is what?
Safety.
Nope.
Oh.
Operate with excellence, man.
Operate with excellence.
Yeah, our number one thing is to catch fish. We told him that last night. Catch fish safely. But our number one, again, that's, we introduced this to Stephen Gawa, the safety guy.
So let me say my initial inspection is really positive. I'd give this an A- because there's a carpet trip issue that we're going to resolve. I will make it. I have a really good idea for that. And then we have that little discrepancy on the wall. No big deal. But
really good idea.
Solid facility. And, this might, Carl's is going to be great because it's going to be a brand new location. There's going to be a lot of interest there. But this is pretty great too. You get, you're going to have exposure to families that come here, and you don't think you're going
to have a lot of exposure in families at Carl's with all that influx?
Yeah, I think you are. I mean, but
you can't compare it to now where it looks like dead versus what it's going to look. That's going to be a lot more traffic exposure than this one's going to be.
But this exposure for the next 2 years is exactly what we needed, because we're going to meet these great families that come here for breakfast, and we're going to expand and get more people involved. Oh, really? I never knew. Yeah, but here it is. Let's go. Yep.
So that's it. Ideas, solutions are important. So again, if you guys are at home, when we get to our business side of entrepreneurship, man, always make sure, what you should have we like to say to our staff, come back with 2 or 3 solutions of your own to problem solve and get it done, right? What is the solutions? It's easy to point out problems. It's easy to have ideas, but can somebody give me a couple of solutions to come back? And that's what we give them as, when you use the word empowering, right? We empower youth. Okay, so you tell them, you dictate them what to do, or you give them the creativity to do it. And that's part of why I say the Pixar effect here is allowing them the creativity to have the solutions, and they don't need me telling them what to do everything, that they are able to problem solve and troubleshoot and do things on their own. And again, that's part of your development, right? Is you have those motor skills, or you have those functional skills to be a problem solver, right? Because there's never really any problems. There's really only solutions. So it is great. Excited that we are going to be here. Everything from the filming to the to having more traffic, to the marine biology aspect, to ideas and visions that we had. I shared a picture with our team last night at the board meeting when we started in our living room 14 years ago. And Kevin Jr., we didn't have board members. We didn't have volunteers. We had a family, and that's where we started. And we never really differentiate from that now. Kevin Jr.'s at the facility. Unique works here, right? Alexis works here a little bit. And we started in our living room, man. So put that into context of where you started at. Stephen Gawa came and filmed in our kitchen when we took the Real Anglers and we did the Crawdad Cafe from our living room. So these are all little ideas and visions that I've had. We just had to get them out of our living room to our own kitchen. So now we have a place to have our own, not the kitchen in our home, but film out here, a studio here, voiceovers. But again, it all started in my living room in Surfside 3, 14, 15 years ago. Actually before that, because before Surfside 3, we lived on 2nd Street when I was going through my separation from their mom. And that's when I started going to Oxnard College. Was there on 2nd Street where I live at right now in a little house. So just to give you guys some context, man, this isn't overnight success. This is 15 years in the making, starting in our living room. But the vision and the idea of knowing where we're going to go with this thing has always been there. It just takes time to get to it. So in a fishing term, you might start on the pier, right? Before you get to a 16-day long range or do an Alaskan type of trip, right? You should start with the basics, get those under your belt, come up with your idea, burn a couple of pancakes in the process. And meaning, you got to get the formula right, the temperature right. And then before you know it, you're putting blueberries, strawberries, whipped cream, whatever you want on those pancakes. But don't be afraid to burn the first pancake, and give it a try. But don't forget, again, also, don't let the glitz and the glamour show it that it just happened, man. There was a lot of time and dedication. And that's why I'm really protective of the things that we do, because I don't let that go away either, right? Deterring what our vision is as the Brannons, get anybody dictated or moved or maneuvered into somebody else's idea and moving our creativity. And that's just something that we like to keep. We did a 2-year strategic plan. And again, in about 2 years, that's what calls to be done. So we'll be able to meet that with our timeline as we develop another 2-year plan, whether how nonprofit are we by then, if the multimedia and these Walmart deals pay off and these licensing deals and these television deals and these film festivals start to really produce for us being creators. And like I might have heard a couple of times that Kevin Henson idea of watching the licensing deals and that stuff grow to see where we are at in 2 years, right? A lot can happen. A lot happened in 4 years over there, right? When we just walked in there, me and Marshall working 30 hours combined getting paid for, but putting in more hours. Marshall's back with the company, having 11 employees that you have to manage, right? First time employees, first time sheets, first fish, right? All these first time having that response. First time, some of our staff, they hold the keys and are able to open up the facility and close the facility at 16, 17 years old, man. That's how you really empower them, not dictating, but allowing them to be creative and give them the responsibility that it takes, but also reminding them, again, to stay on track with the vision, where we're going, and then how to fit into that as part of our organization. And then that way, when they take away, they could see the possibilities are endless and they could do magnificent things if they don't ever let anybody stop their imagination or their creativity, or their doubt or fear or these other things that could creep in. We try to prevent as much of that as possible. Not trying to say we're naive, but again, there's a winning formula, man, right? That's what it's called, a winning formula. They don't say a maybe formula, a losing philosophy, right? There's something called a winning formula, and it's been laid out before me, and then that's what we showcase. And I think that's why, again, we continue to be successful, man. So, what you got, Steven?
It's good. Everything's good. We're looking on point to getting this place up and running, and excited. It's good.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, man. Again, for our people that are watching and listening, like, these are the things, the memories, and which you're to kind of go a flashback to see where it's came from, right? And and enjoy the moments where they're at, and celebrate those things, right?
Yeah, and like Kevin said, celebrating hard work and dedication. And I fortunately, in 2012, I believe, is when we were promoting Real Angers through Gama Good Salsa and the Crawdad Cafe, making fish tacos.
Yeah.
And it's still out there, and people, even 12 years ago, people said to me, "Man, this is really professionally done. How did you do it?" I said, "I didn't do anything. I just showed up and did my thing, and Kevin and his crew filmed it and edited it, and it's good."
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find it on YouTube. What do we call it? It's out there.
Fish tacos.
Yeah,
it was like grilling and chilling.
It's great. So yeah,
those are your demos, right? Again, I think about I remember, again, as much documentary as I watch and listen to, when Dr. Dre called Eminem and said, he heard a tape and was like, "Fly him out here so I can meet him." And he wasn't fidgeting around and wondering, what am I going to do? He was able to go into the booth, hit the record button, and he just flowed. He just went at it, right?
My name is.
Yeah, and that way, but the point of that is he was practicing and getting his reps in when nobody knew who he was. So when we were in our living room, because we made our first studio in that living room, that's when we were All Lit Up Productions, and we made my little side living room into a studio. Now we have a studio out here, but you have to have those concepts, those proof of concepts, and those ideas, and rapping in your grandma's basement and in your thing, standing in front of a mirror, doing those things to get your rehearsal. So that way, when it does come time, if you can't do it with those little things, how you can do it with the big things, man? I think that's biblical too, right? The small things, if I can't trust you with the small sums, I'm not going to trust you with the large sums. But you got to be willing to turn your living room into a studio. I know there's, you watch, one of the movies I just watched was the Michael Jackson story, and it shows the Jackson 5 rehearsing right there in the living room, man, with Joe Jackson. And he kept his kids out of school, and in the 60s, and he was in Gary, Indiana. It was a little bit racist at the time. Might still be. Who knows? I never been there.
It was a little more than
but
a little.
He was able to see that play out, in his living room, right? And then put them on stage. And Michael Jackson become the largest person when it comes to pop music, an icon in the globe. But it started where? In their living room with dad's vision, his parenting style and isolating and growing. We will never really know, because how many of you behind the camera have been that popular and that rich to know what's right from wrong, or to judge anybody on what they did to get there? But at the end of the day, he put it together for his fam, man. And that was a vision they had from his living room. So when you start one in your living room, how you take it to the next level is your decision.
Yeah.
But just get started.
There's a lot to learn too, and you have to manage your success. And I think Kevin's doing a great job of managing our success with real guppies, and connecting with families and kids and elected officials. I mean,
from coast to coast, baby. See me on local politicians all the way out to DC.
County board of supervisors. I mean, everybody realizes the value, and that's what's exciting about what we're doing. So let's do it. There's
if anybody's listening, some more people to look up is a guy named Jim Rohn, ROHN, and he preaches value, right? And again, right, Scotty, and pest control. Going back to that, if you could find a value, you got to be a valuable person in the society, a valuable person to the market, valuable person is important. The more value that you bring to the world, right? Even besides the community, like the world, be valuable, right? A real value to people. You see there's a need. You know what was valuable? When somebody put together Velcro. This is from the movie. No, seriously, it's from the book Think and Grow Rich. Post-its. And they give it to you right in the Post-its, right? Somebody found a need and gave it a try, and they tried it out. And so yeah, we do need those, right? So if you see a need, but the guy from the Velcro, he had it stuck to his pants. The way he found it, he came home and figured out that those little balls were sticking to his clothes. And how could he make that in his garage?
Yeah, the Post-it guy worked for 3M, and I worked for 3M for 5 years. And the story with that one was he was trying to make a sticky residue that you could put stuff on the wall without causing damage pulling it off. Because remember, 3M was Scotch tape, and so they had these really strong tapes. When you put it on a wall, you pull it off, it pull things off. But what if we could make a thing where you could write notes and do your poster boarding and your studying? And he accidentally came across it, and he discovered it, but then he second guessed himself, so he threw it to the side. And then he started thinking one night, and he goes, "Hey, but you could do sheets that you could."
I think it was like 3 a.m. in the morning or something.
Yeah, and then so 3M allowed him to work in a corner, and he couldn't duplicate it. So they finally said, "Okay, we're pulling your support." He had like 30 years. Like, but can I keep trying? I'll retire, but I'll keep trying. Oh yeah, we love that spirit. And so he kept trying. He finally did it, and now it's like a $350 million division of 3M. Yeah. And he did it. So it's pretty remarkable. And those notes have helped. I mean, I know I've seen them in your operation.
Those are Marshall's favorites. He's a Post-it fanatic.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great story. All right. Good.
Okay. So this is our Dockside Learning Center, man. This is going to be it. And remember, thing that we're teaching, and we've always had it, right? It's always been called the Dockside Learning Center. It has been called in Multimedia Studio. It wasn't called the Fishing Club or Fishing Clinic or Fishing. Nothing is in the name, right? Been Real Guppy Outdoors, right? Multimedia Studio and Educational Programming. So that's what we want to highlight to people with this facility and growing, as that's always been part of the vision, is that we are an educational center and hopefully become an institution or an institute. We're teaching how to fly drones now. We have a certified drone technician, licensed drone technician that's teaching the students how to fly drones. Thomas from VASE, another partnership that we have with another educational program, teaching education. So, and again, now think about when we're editing right here and filming, and we're casting up on the TV, and we could look at this whole thing here. The monitor will be up there while we're filming right here. And we could really dial in the quality of our film. And then when you walk in there and do the voiceover, so just like CAPS in Ventura or VASE in Ventura, we'll be in here teaching students. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch of students. It could just be a couple per semester, man. It's about quality too. It's not always about. Go ahead, Stephen.
I have a green screen that's in storage.
Cool.
It'll fit right there beautifully.
Negative, sir.
Negative.
This is the filming side on this side.
Okay, the green screen over there.
Go on that side.
All right. Well, I'm going to pull it out and bring it over.
Yep. And yeah, man, it's just exciting.
Green screen green
Again,
screen.
It's just excited to see the.
That's the thing. What does it allow you to do, Kevin? A green screen.
All kinds of stuff.
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere. Woo!
I'm just quiet, just looking at it. Global, baby. We're going to say we're. So if you ever heard me say this before,
global, baby,
is they said, "Hey, Kev, what do you a couple times I've been asked these questions. Like, what do you success?" Heard a couple times, right? Well, you look at the menu, and you don't have to look at the side to see if you can afford it or not. And it's not about the money; it's the freedom, right? So that's one success, right? I want to be able to order something on the menu that I want. It's $9, and I only got $6, right? That's one thing. But the other idea was that if they find life on another planet, that those people, those aliens, are going to want to tune in Saturday morning to watch Real Anglers Fishing Show. We're going to be universal. I've said that since I was at Oxnard College, man, and I never looked back. You got to be big. To be big, you got to think big. Emeril Lagasse, right? And the ones that I follow and study, again, there's a recipe for success, or there's a formula to success. It's out there. If you're really to invest your time into doing that research and then just brainwashing yourself to believe in that because you've seen other people's success as well. But we want to be universal, man. So right, it might be global the next 2 years. And then again, Elon Musk finds someone on another planet and they want to watch the coolest fishing show on television, family quality educational content. They'll tune into the Real Angler Network and check out some of the shows that we have, everything that we're doing now, Coastal Critters to Real Anglers Fishing Show to some of the stuff we're going to premiere at the Blue Carpet premiere October 23rd at the Museum of Ventura County. So you'll see some of that Farmers to Fishermen and our version of doing Jack Hanna's, Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom, but it'd be California based, and going to aquariums and zoos and cooking shows and being like a Guy Fieri and doing more California, where we go around and just find cool places to travel with your friends and family to catch those memories. So it's all still based in our scope of catching memories, making memories, enjoying life, positivity, inspiration, going outdoors, seeing stuff, doing it with people, doing it by yourself is still going to be encompassed under these other content shows that we're going to create. But as many channels are on smart TVs now and ways to stream, you have travel, cuisine, art, nature, right? All these different places that you could put this great footage. So, why not triple, double, quadruple dip on some film and get the exposure and continue to showcase those vibes, man. Sound good? Come out here real quick, Scotty. We're almost done right here. What time? How much time you got in there?
30 minutes, just it.
Cool. All right. We'll kind of wrap up with some of this stuff is the reason we had all the fans going is because the carpet was wet, so we were kind of letting it dry to make sure it was dry. And there's no windows that open up in here, so that's the only part. There's no windows that do open. But we have this parking lot out here that you could see, and you have the Corinthian Yacht Club across the way that we could do work with. There's a Pacific Yacht Club that's underneath us, and we have a dock in the back. We have some real estate around here that we could utilize for some of our programming. When we stand there on that corner and you have a backdrop of those boats that you could see behind that dumpster, imagine that as a backdrop for some of the filming that we're doing. Or we stand down here on the dock and we have that gazebo that's right outside there that we could use for some of our programming and activities, man. The possibilities, I wouldn't say are endless, but it's definitely going to expand some of those possibilities. So I'm a little, right now as we're here with Steven and myself and hearing the stories, and kind of like in my brain, I'm kind of replaying some of the successes that we've had to get to where we're at. Just kind of just sinking in, it is a new chapter. We are leveling up. This is the 4th level. And I tell the students when I go into classrooms, it's like Mario Brothers, right? You level up to a new level and the bosses are going to get a little bit harder to beat. But, Koopa ain't till, level 8, right? So if we're at level 4 or level 5, it shows that we've leveled up. And some of the maneuvers that you got to get. Remember one of the coolest games was Kung Fu? And you had to fight that dude. And he was the hardest. The little midgets are jumping on you. And you got to fight the big brothers. And you got all these things are fighting. And the guy throwing the knives. And the guy throwing the snakes at you. You got to fight these things. And then you finally fight the Mr. X at the end of Kung Fu, right? But you're developing your skills and getting better with your techniques at every level that you grow up. You can't use the cheat codes to get there. I mean, you can, but it's not as much satisfaction. We've all done it, right? We all use the little cheat code to get to Tyson, right? Like, I want to bypass everybody and just go fight Tyson on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. But you got to level up your game, man. You're playing, your character's got to follow you. There's a lot of things that come along with development. And that's something I was telling the team today is that as we say we're the guppies and guppies don't litter and what we're doing, that I have to realign myself with these same types of integrity and knowing that I'm a public figure and what comes along with being a celebrity and the kind of stuff of inspiration that we do preach and practice, that I have to practice it as well. So I'm on the hook just as much as I teach my team of what they're doing. And I kind of, I dig it, again, your character has to fall. And something that you could hear at home is that, if there is, if you're not where you want to be yet, maybe it's not your time. God doesn't want to give you something because you might squander it, right? You could squander your inheritance, right? Because you're prematurely ready character-wise to sustain that, right? It's not like Eric Thomas, the hip-hop preacher. But I've been in levels where I've gone back and looked to say, if I would have had this 5 years ago when I was really more into partying and the stuff that I was doing, chaoticness, I could have squandered it away. And God was like, you're just not quite ready yet for me to give you these keys. The keys, oh, they're in the door. The keys to the empire yet, man. So maybe if you're listening and you're at home and you're thinking like, when is it my time, or why hasn't it panned out? Have faith and think about maybe you're still being refined, for that time to shine, so that you don't squander, right? You have the responsibility of a team and staff and just responsibility as a whole, right? And so yeah, as we level up, I got to level up, bring up the team, inspire you behind the camera. That's kind of the vibe, is inspiration. Good times, not saying there's not going to be bad ones, but if you recognize that as you're going through these storms or you're going up these levels, it's supposed to feel like gravity is pulling you back. That's just the way it is, right? You're trying to take off and gravity's trying to pull you back down, man. So it's not easy, but it can be done, right? So, buckle up, get in the rocket, man, let it shoot you, and, aim for the galaxies, man, okay? And if you land in the stars, hey, at least you shot for the galaxy, right? Don't sell yourself short. And, that's it. We're going to go to ICAST next week. So we'll get some footage from there. We're taking the whole team to half the team, I guess. Now that we have 12 people, we're taking 6 of them with us. We already put out our, got some meetings set up. Kevin Jr. set some of those up. The interns were emailing out yesterday an email blast for them to come by our booth. Melissa is going to send a massive email blast directly from me to people to let them know that we're there and to come. And again, just, our team is saturating. We're doing these 10X versions that you hear from like Grant Cordon about this 10Xing it as we get ready to go out to Florida and then come back. And then from that point on, it's let's move forward to that blue carpet premiere. We filmed this Friday at Cabrillo Aquarium up at Cabrillo High School up in Lompoc. And that's for one segment. And then we just finished at Limonera last week with the team. And that was great. Got to meet their vice president as we start filming start editing up the Farmers to Fishermen. So we got some shoots under our belt, looking to get into Moore Park College for the zoo, Crawdad Cafe out here. We go to Santa Barbara at the end of the month to do that tourism travel show. And that's pretty much all the films that we're going to need to shoot for the blue carpet premiere. And then we edit. The students will be back in school, so they'll spend days editing right here in the editing bays. And it'll be showtime, baby, October 23rd, right? So let's get it going. Community Kev. Stephen Gawa, come say goodbye.
By the way, these windows, something cleaner.
Yeah, we'll clean the windows.
Yeah, they got to be here on August 3rd. He's going to come in and do the outside. So Colm from the Millionaires Club. Again, we always network within our networking groups, right? So I talked to him today. He's going to come out, get up here and clean these windows. I think August 2nd, because the 3rd, we will be filming at the Museum of Ventura County for the Farmers to Fishermen on the 3rd.
So I've been to the Lompoc Aquarium at it's a Cooper College, isn't it?
Cabrillo High School.
High school, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty extensive too. So I imagine a grand opening might be appropriate.
Yeah, we picked that date when you left the meeting last night.
Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
We did September 10th.
We'll do our grand opening.
It's a Thursday, September 10th. We'll do a ribbon cutting and grand opening.
I feel like fish tacos got
Nope.
What kind
we're gonna have we're gonna have smash burgers by Ricardo, one of our Guppy volunteers. He's going to be out there with his little smash burger. He wants to do it for the organization. He said he really appreciates what we've done for his family and his kids, and it would be his honor to come here and do his little smash burgers right here for the ooey gooey delicious, smash burgers will be a part of it. So everything's on there. Stephen had to leave last night, the meeting, a little early, so he didn't get to the tail end of it, but he did a heck of a presentation for our safety meetings going forward and our safety
we're
procedures.
on a good, we're going to be good. And like Kevin said, it's experience, catching memories, doing things correctly, professionally, smash burger, capital of the world, best ever. I mean, everything we shoot for the best. It's been a joy seeing the growth of the program and seeing the kids. The kids are grown up now. Like, a lot happens in 12 years, right?
I think it's 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
We got grandkids running around with Guppy shirts on.
We got kids graduating from college, big colleges. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Pretty good.
Community kept.
It's all part of the vision, man. You know, just believe in people, believe in Steven. That was his slogan when he was running for city council.
Yeah.
I put his sign in the front, believe in Steven. You know, because he believed in me. Again, he was our first sponsor, $500 he gave us twice.
And it's
like Channel 3.
And it's like, believe in Steven is one thing, but believe in Kevin, believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Believe it in yourself.
Catch memories, not cases.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're believing in yourself, doesn't matter what your name is, you know,
believe in
Kevin,
you.
Believe in. Don't stop believing. Let's go.
All right.
Take care.
Let's go.
To learn more about Real Guppy Outdoors, please visit www.communitykevin.com. Brought to you by AftCo Fishing Apparel and Tackle, designed to perform. Channel Island Sport Fishing, offering deep-sea fishing on quality sport fishing charter boats, and more. Costa Sunglasses. Discover life's greatest adventures with Costa. See what's out there. Daiwa. If you want innovation and quality in your fishing products, Daiwa has what you need. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.